Ghulam Muzammil. I am a fresher IT professional from middle class background. All tax saving options available in India have haram component involved, less or more in quantity. My question is regarding the most popular scheme that generally Muslims use, that is ELSS mutual funds. The fund manager invests the money in a portfolio of companies and it gives us variable returns. Note, we cannot pick and choose companies, we can only choose portfolio. The money invested here can be shown to income tax agency to save tax. If I invest here, I can save about 35,000 rupees tax that is being deducted from my account. I am aware that almost all portfolio have companies of banks, insurance, finance, etc. We can say 30 to 40% of companies of the portfolio. Considering I'm willing to give all money earned from this scheme to charity without the need of sawab, can I invest here just for tax saving purpose? PS. The other Sharia compliant funds like Tata Ethical Fund cannot be used to save tax as they are open-ended scheme. If the answer of above question is not allowed, do you know of any Sharia compliant scheme where Muslims can save tax in India? Jazakallah khair. Brother Ghulam Muzammil has asked that he's an IT professional and alhamdulillah by Allah's grace, he has a good salary. And in India, you can save your tax by investing in certain schemes in which the government has given permission. But most of the schemes where you're allowed to invest, in which there's tax saving, it involves in riba. And he gave an option that he invest in mutual funds, which he is ELSS mutual fund. I'm not aware of this fund. I've left India since many years. Now it's about somewhere close to 7 years since I left India. That ELSS is a mutual fund is saying, if we invest in this, we get tax exemption. But he knows that in the mutual fund is a fund where you invest and the portfolio manager, he chooses many companies so that you can mitigate your risk. But he knows that most of the companies in the mutual fund are banks and the interest-related companies, maybe 30 to 40% according to him. So is it permitted, even if he agrees to give all his income in charity, is it permitted? Riba is a major sin in Islam. Taking interest or usury is haram in Islam. And according to Imam al-Dhabi, it is the 12th major sin in Islam. And Allah says in Surah Baqarah chapter number 2, verse number 270 and 279, that give up your demands of riba, of interest. And if you give up not your demands of riba interest, take notice of a vow from Allah and His Rasul. That means if you involve in riba, Allah and His Rasul will wage war against you. And there are many verses of the Quran that makes riba prohibited, and various hadith. And a beloved poet also said that riba has got various levels. The lowest level of riba is like doing zina with your mother. Imagine, so bad it is. It is one of the major sins in Islam. Again, a question. Can you invest in mutual funds in which 30 to 40% of the company is dealing in riba? And the answer is no. You are not permitted to invest in mutual funds in which 30 to 40% of the companies are non-Sharia compliant or companies which deal in riba. I've given this answer in detail maybe a year ago, where I've told that in which stocks can you exchange. There are 5 criteria: that the core product should be halal. Second, it should not have a cash debt ratio of more than 30%, some say 10, some say 20. There should not be any haram income, or if the income is there, should be less than 5%. There are various clauses which I've mentioned. In short, investing in ELSS to save tax is not permitted. And the brother said, then what other schemes can we invest in? And he spoke about the Tata Ethical Fund, and I'm aware of Tata Ethical Fund. Tata Ethical Fund is a mutual fund that has been launched by Tata company, mainly for the Muslims and the Jain, so that they try and make it Sharia compliant. Though they don't have a Sharia board per se, but they try, whatever knowledge they have, they try and make it Sharia compliant. And I remember that many years ago, I think more than 10, 15 years ago, when I had invested in the scheme and I found that certain of the stocks were not Sharia compliant, and we spoke to the management and immediately they sold those shares. But if you want to invest in a Sharia compliant mutual fund, see to it it's a Sharia fund which has a Sharia board. It's more safer. Even Tata Ethical Fund, you can invest in India, but it doesn't have a Sharia board per se. At least didn't have that time. So regarding, and this Tata Ethical Fund, if you invest, the government does not give you tax exemption. So which funds can you invest in? There are many funds known as unit trust funds. These are government funds. And some of the mutual funds, by nature, they are Sharia compliant. For example, pharmaceutical. If you buy a mutual fund which is mainly involving in pharmaceutical, by nature it is halal, and you have to check whether they have taken loans or not, which is very easy. So if you invest in unit trust, which are mainly into pharmaceuticals, it becomes halal. So what you have to do, that you have to consult a person who has knowledge of the Islamic Sharia and who is well versed with Islamic finance, who will be able to guide you that which funds which are permitted by the government, which give tax exemption and which are Sharia compliant. So by nature there are some funds may not having a Sharia board, but by nature they become Sharia compliant. So you can invest in such funds. And the other option that you have is that since you say that you want to give your complete money in charity, the other option I can suggest to you is that you can give donation or your zakat to NGOs or non-government organization, Muslim organization, which have the 80G certificate. 80G certificate means it's the certificate that if you give donation to these organizations which have this certificate, half the money that you donate is tax exempted. For example, if you donate 100,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, to an Islamic organization which has the 80G facility, for example, in Bombay, our IRF Educational Trust, which runs the Islamic International School, which used to run, that had the 80G certificate. That means anyone who donated 100,000 rupees to this trust, IRF Educational Trust, then 50%, 50,000 of that amount that donated is tax exempted. So if you reach the highest slab where you have to pay 30% tax, so if you give 100,000, 50,000 is exempted from tax. So 30% of 50,000, that means you are saving 15,000 if you donate to an organization which has 80G. It doesn't have to be a Muslim organization, but if you want to kill two birds at one stone, if you want to give your zakat money as a donation or as a zakat to a Muslim organization or as a donation, your lillah money, then 50% of that amount given is tax exempted. There are certain organizations which also have 80G facility, though they are few in number. 80G means that organization is doing some research for the benefit of humanity, or it is a hospital. So government gives 80G facilities. Sorry, 80C. 80G is those which government exempts half. 80C is a certificate given to those organizations. If you donate, 100% of your money is tax exempted. So surely there are some Muslim organizations which have got the 80C facility. So once you give donation here, then the complete amount that you have donated is tax exempted. And since you want to give donation, but natural, when you invest in a Sharia compliant mutual fund which is permitted by the government as tax exemption, the tax is saved, even the money belongs to you, and maybe after investment you can utilize it. But in charity the money goes away. You get the tax exemption, So that's the reason if you have an amount of zakat that you have to give, or you have made a niyyah, I will donate 10% of my income or 20% of my income. So if you give to such institutions which have the 80G, then you get 50% exemption of that amount. If you give to organizations which have got the 80C, maybe running a medical center or a hospital, then 100% of the amount is exempted. So this is a second option that you have besides investing in Sharia compliant funds which are exempted by the government of India. Hope that answers the question.